against cyber threats such as hacking and ransomware. Question number 5, are there plans to collaborate with private or experts to enhance email services? 6, what is the government's stance on civil servants using personal emails for official correspondence?
Public funds, financially sustainability and better service delivery. The Namibian government has incurred significant expenses on office space rentals in the recent years, with a notable example being the former Ministry of Sport, Youth and
notices of motions, messages from the head of state, Okay, now we go to the order paper of the day. The notice of motion for today is the one of the Honorable Minister of Finance and Social Grants Management. Does the Honorable Minister move that the bill be now introduced? I so move. Who seconds the motion? Is there any objections? Then it is agreed to. Will the Honorable Minister please table the bill? Yeah, kindly table the bill, Honorable Minister. What? Can the Honorable Minister please table the bill? Oh. Oh, you tabled. Oh, is that so? Okay. The Secretary will now read the bill a first time.
Appropriation bill.
The minister is... Okay, so the minister was supposed to table the bill, even if there is a copy there. Yes. Yes, Honorable Venani.
Honorable Speaker, on the point of order. This side has already started with the confusion. It's going to be a rough ride. But the Honorable new Minister is an old ED. She used to bully us with our figures. Now that she's here as Minister, where is the bill? Table the bill.
Very good. Very good.
Now you can start bullying.
The Secretary will now read the bill a first time.
Appropriation bill.
Does the Honorable Minister of Finance and Social Grants Management move that the bill now be read a second time?
Yes.
I move.
So move. It's okay. So move.
Any objections?
It's okay. That's the rest. I'm the Minister of Finance.
Any objections? None. Who seconds? Agreed to. The Honorable Minister now has the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. It is with deep humility and honor that I present my maiden statement as follows. I am Erika Shafuda, former civil servant in the government of the Republic of Namibia, and also a former international civil servant in the UN system. And I really thank Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah for bestowing on me and appointing me as the Minister of Finance. Now I go to the subject. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, fellow Namibians, in terms of Article 126, subsection 1 of the Namibian Constitution, it is my singular honor to present the maiden budget under the administration of Her Excellency President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah and the 8th Parliament of the Republic of Namibia. The budget proposes for the 2025-2026 financial year and the corresponding medium-term expenditure framework, and they are anchored under the theme Beyond 35 for a prosperous future. In addition to celebrating 35 years as a free and independent country, the theme also serves as a clarion call on all of us to redouble our efforts to create an even more prosperous future for our beloved Namibia. While we have made significant strides over the past 35 years, more still needs to be done to ensure a more inclusive, fair, and equitable economy that works for all our citizens. Therefore, as we were formulating this budget, we have at the back of our minds the need to make the necessary provisions to heal this call as much as the resources envelope permits. I wish to share my conversation with a community member of Dimiopsis, a settlement that is hosting 1,000 people, and it is located 40 kilometers outside of Hobabes. This community member, who is an unemployed youth, informed me that he wished he could access money to show his potential. Today, I reflected on that conversation, and I believe this budget provided an answer to his wish. I will elaborate on that later. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, in terms of economic, fiscal, and financial context, the global economy continues to hold steady despite divergent risks and heightened policy and geopolitical uncertainty. In its latest World Economic Outlook update that was released in January 2025, the International Monetary Fund estimates growth at the global level to be at around 3.2% in 2024, before increasing marginally to 3.3% in both 2025 and 2026. At these levels, the global growth remains below the 2000 to 2019 historical average of 3.7%, weighed down by subdued consumption and consumer confidence, stalling disinflation as well as elevated policy uncertainty. Over the medium term, the balance of risks to the global economy outlook is tilted to the downside, with global growth poised to continue edging lower. A multitude of near-term risks could further reinforce growth divergences across countries, including a potential intensification of the protectionist trade policies in the form of a new wave of tariffs that could worsen trade tensions, lower investments, distort trade flows, and again disrupt supply chains. These risks are of a significant concern for the domestic economy, given not only our open economy, but also in the context our posture as a logistic hub for trade flows in the region. On the commodity prices front, international energy prices are projected to trend downwards during 2025, driven by, among others, subdued demand in China and strong oil production from countries outside of OPEC. This development bodes well for domestic inflation dynamics. Nonetheless, potential downside risks remain, including continued geopolitical tensions with risk of generating fresh adverse supply shocks. Meanwhile, non-fuel commodity prices are broadly anticipated to increase somewhat, potentially renewed by risks from economic policy shifts and geopolitical tensions. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, economic prospects in sub-Saharan Africa are estimated to lift slightly, with growth projected to increase from 3.8% in 2024 to 4.2% in 2025 and 2026. The growth prospects for the region largely reflect the resilient domestic economic activities and the subsiding impact of the negative weather shocks, although the impact on food costs is anticipated to persist in the near term. From the domestic economy development and outlook, we have to inform the honorable member, honorable speaker, honorable members, that the domestic economic prospects remain broadly positive, although activities weakened marginally during 2024. The Namibia Statistics Agency, in the national accounts that were published on the 20th of March 2025, indicated that economic activities expanded by 3.7% in 2024 from 4.4% in 2023. The moderation in growth was largely on account of muted global demand for key commodity exports, such as diamonds, coupled with drought conditions which depressed agricultural production. Furthermore, the high inflation and interest rates during the first half of the year weighed negatively against consumer spending power. As a result, the growth momentum waned despite the strong drive in mineral exploration activities during the latter half of the year. Nonetheless, the continued weaknesses in the diamond sector and the subsequent adverse impact on domestic activities remain a key source of vulnerability. Thus, measures to further diversify the economy will go a long way to lessen the impact external shocks on economic outcomes. In addition, adverse climatic shocks have become more frequent and intense in recent years, highlighting the importance and urgency of all of us adopting climate change adaptation measures to increase resilience against climate shocks. Going forward, we project GDP growth to pick up to 4.5% in 2025 and 4.7% in 2026. The strong growth is anchored on activities in the mining sector as uranium and gold prices, as well as exploration activities, remain broadly favorable. Further reinforcement is anticipated from the agricultural sector on the back of normalizing rainfall patterns, while the wholesale and retail sector is expected to benefit from improved consumer confidence boosted by tax relief measures that were implemented in 2024 and ease monetary policy stance. In addition, sentiments remain positive across many other sectors of the economy, such as tourism, transport and storage, financial services, and electricity generation. Regarding inflation dynamics, domestic prices moderated to an average inflation rate of 4.2% in 2024 from 5.9% recorded in 2023. Similarly, the latest data prints for February 2025 points to abating inflationary pressures with an annual inflation rate of 3.6%. In line with abating inflation pressures, monetary policy has eased, thereby bringing much needed relief to corporate and household balance sheets alike. Nevertheless, credit extension remains broadly subdued despite elevated liquidity. The inflation outlook and the subsequent monetary policy path going forward remain highly subject to external price shocks and exchange rate developments. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, fellow Namibians, while we welcome the strengthening economic activities, we remain acutely aware of the pervasive and entrenched national challenges such as high unemployment, poverty, and income inequalities. The pace at which the economy has been generating jobs remain inadequate. In line with the new administration commitment to solve for social challenges, we need to redouble our efforts into fostering conditions to promote job growth through accelerating improvements in the business climate as well as tax and regulatory frameworks. In this context, measures to address skills gaps and policy coordination barriers will be the content of our fiscal and economic policy framework moving forward. Honorable Speaker, in terms of fiscal policy development, on the 28th October 2024, the financial year 2024-25 mid-year budget review was tabled in this August House, shifting the global expenditure ceiling for the financial year to 101.2 billion Namibian dollars. The preliminary indicators at the end of February 2025 show continued strong and improving fiscal fundamentals. In this context, total revenue collections stood at 84.4 billion Namibian dollars, translating into a collection rate of well over 90% of the first 11 months of the financial year 2024-2025. Revenues from corporate income tax, value-added tax, and income tax on individuals show strong year-to-date collection rates and are expected to outperform the mid-year estimates. Meanwhile, dividends from public enterprises have been reduced significantly owing to poor outcomes from Namdeb holdings in line with the significant decline in global diamond prices over the period. Furthermore, a total of 1.6 billion Namibian dollars in anticipated dividends from imminent dissolution of the Namibia Post and Telecom holdings has been deferred to the next financial year, that is 2025-2026, as a stopgap measure against anticipated weaker revenues in the coming financial year, as I will elaborate on shortly. In addition, I am pleased to report that between April 2023 and February 2025, we have collected a total of 3 billion Namibian dollars on various tax categories through the ongoing tax amnesty program. In this regard, we would like to appreciate the efforts of the Namibia Revenue Agency for their strong drive in mobilizing domestic revenue resources and ensuring that the fiscal is able to meet its obligations despite significant revenue headwinds, especially from the diamond sector. Balancing all the above factors, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members, we have subsequently revised our estimates of revenue for the financial year 2024-2025 downwards by 1.2 billion to a total of 90.9 billion Namibian dollars. Regarding non-interest expenditure, the preliminary outturn at the end of February 2025 stood at 72.9 billion. From a sustainability perspective, growth in nominal public debt has stabilized. Although, as a ratio of GDP, the metrics have deteriorated due to lower nominal GDP outcomes. Going forward, it remains crucial for the fiscal framework to continue maintaining a primary budget surplus over the upcoming MTF to contain the pace of debt accumulation. Overall, the budget deficit for the financial year 2024-2025 is estimated at 3.9%, slightly underperforming our initial estimates of 3.2% at midterm and in the main budget last year, due to lower nominal GDP outcomes coupled with revenue reprioritization. Honorable Speaker, from the budget policy pillars, we have just celebrated 35 years as an independent nation. While we have made significant strides on a lot of indicators, we are still faced with economic challenges and pressures to accelerate development, create jobs, and broadly improving the living conditions of the Namibian people. Accordingly, we have formulated this budget with that context in mind, prioritizing allocations to the following thematic areas. The budget has made provisions to support and facilitate economic development through continued investments in infrastructure such as housing and informal settlements upgrading, education, water, power generation, and health facilities, among others, to unlock economic opportunities and ensure delivery of social services across the country. Despite the revenue shocks, we have sustained allocations to various social protection programs in consideration of the need to continue safeguarding livelihoods, support the most vulnerable sectors of our society, empower the youth, and protect gains in social matrices. We have also made specific provisions to address youth empowerment programs and capacity enhancement activities. And the budget made allocations to various initiatives to promote food production, and stimulate agricultural activities given the elevated instances of drought and the need to improve food security at the national level. In this context, Honorable Speaker, and in terms of Article 126, subsection 1 of the Namibian Constitution, it gives me then pressure to table for the favorable consideration and approval of this August House the 2025-2026 financial year appropriation bill and the estimates of revenue, income, and expenditure for the medium-term expenditure framework. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, the accompanying documents, namely the 2025-2026, 2027-2028 medium-term expenditure framework, the development programs for the same period, as well as the fiscal strategy for the same period, will be finalized and subsequently published on our websites, as well as distributed to the members of Parliament during the course of next week. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, turning to the budget for the 2025-2026, the medium-term outlook and fiscal policy stance. This budget is being presented against a very challenging fiscal environment. From a revenue perspective, we have experienced notable headwinds, which in turn has significantly constrained the available resource envelope during 2025-2026 financial year. In this regard, we estimate total revenue to be around 92.6 billion Namibian dollars, a moderate increase of only 1.9% from the revised estimates of the previous year. The substantial strain on revenue emanated from a 6.9 billion Namibian dollars reduction on SACCO receipts, which is confirmed at 21.1 billion Namibian dollars. Similarly, activities in the diamond sector remain subdued, resulting in muted contributions to the fiscal. Nevertheless, we estimate improved performance on several domestic revenue streams. In this context, VAT is estimated to increase by 2.6 billion compared to the revised estimate for the year 2024-2025. Income tax on individuals is estimated to increase by 1.8 billion Namibian dollars, while non-mining company tax are estimated to increase by 1.3 billion Namibian dollars over the same period. Moreover, cognizant of the constrained revenue outlook, we have deferred the utilization of 1.6 billion Namibian dollars in dividends from Namibia Post and Telecom Holdings Company following the dissolution of the company to the year 2025-2026. In addition, roughly 450 million Namibian dollars from the sale of the remaining 9% shares in the mobile telecom company have been shifted to the next year estimates. Dividends to the tune of 720 million Namibian dollars is also anticipated from the Bank of Namibia. Revenue growth is projected to average 5.2% over the medium-term expenditure framework period, reaching the 100 billion Namibian dollars mark for the year 2027-2028. In the outer years, the revenue projections incorporated cautious estimates of receipts from the mining sector, cognizant of muted global demand and the subsequent unfavorable global commodity price developments. Furthermore, moderate increase in SACCO revenues and several domestic revenue streams have been considered in line with the postulated growth context. Overall, we project revenue as a ratio of GDP to remain strong, averaging 32% over the MTF. While we have done the utmost best to take a conservative approach in our forecasts and consider potential downside risks, the revenue outlook is still subject to elevated uncertainties, particularly in the global economy. Nevertheless, we have committed to manage government finances in a prudent manner that ensures long-term fiscal sustainability through achieving sustainable budget deficits and public debt. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, fellow Namibians, the relatively poor revenue outlook for 2025-2026 financial year, as I have already outlined, poses challenges in the resource allocation actions. redirecting us to employ a more rigorous approach in determining key and most impactful priorities to accelerate service delivery, address the most pressing needs, and improve infrastructure development. In this context, I'm tabling before this August House a budget of 106.3 billion Namibian dollars for the financial year 2025-2026. The total expenditure consists of 79.8 billion Namibian dollars for the operational expenditure, 12.8 billion Namibian dollars in the development expenditure, including 3.2 billion Namibian dollars in development projects that are funded through external loans and grants, as well as 13.7 billion Namibian dollars in interest payments. The budget represents an increase of 4.9% from the revised estimates of the preceding financial year. The operational budget, like I have already indicated, is estimated at 79.8 billion Namibian dollars, and it has grown by 2.3% over the 2024-2025 financial year mid-year estimates. Meanwhile, to continue addressing infrastructure bottlenecks that weigh against our growth potential, the development budget has increased by 22.6%, that is to 12.8 billion from the revised estimate for 2024-2025. This inclusive of 3.2 billion in project finance outside the state revenue fund. As a ratio of GDP, the development budget is equivalent to 4.6%, an improvement from 4.2% in the prior year. As indicated prior, for 2025-2026 financial year, we have budgeted 13.7 billion Namibian dollars to meet statutory debt servicing obligations, equivalent to 14.8% of revenue and 4.9% of GDP. We remain concerned that we expend more resources on debt servicing than we pour back in the economy to grow our economic potential through the development budget. As such, there is a need for continued measures to contain the pace of debt accumulation so as to curb the rising debt servicing costs. We are therefore committed to maintain public debt on a reduction path and ensure that debt is raised in the most cost-effective manner. On balance, we aim to achieve a positive primary budget balance of 0.3% of GDP during the financial year 2025-2026. Subsequently, the budget deficit is projected at 12.8 billion Namibian dollars in nominal terms, which is equivalent to 4.6% of GDP. In the interest of pursuing fiscal sustainability and debt stabilization, we aim to maintain a primary surplus and consequently the budget deficit at an average of 4% of GDP over the MTEP period. From a financing perspective, for 2025-2026 financial year, it is anticipated to be an eventful year. In this context, the government is faced with imminent redemption of $750 million Eurobond, and that's going to be redeemed on the 29th October 2025. In this regard, we have succeeded to accumulate $463 million in the sinking fund over the past financial years. Going forward, we aim to further add another $162 million to the sinking fund during the course of this year and before the maturity of the bond. Effectively, this will leave a balance of $125 million which will be refinanced through the domestic market. Given the prevailing interest rate levels, we believe it is most optimal to source funding from the domestic market, considering the sufficient liquidity levels as well as the demonstrated appetite for government securities. Nonetheless, going forward, we aim to carefully balance the annual domestic financing requirements to avoid crowding out the private sector funding. Furthermore, we will employ a combination of funding from multilateral organizations to finance infrastructure projects, as well as exploring potential off-budget financing solutions in partnership with the private sector. In addition to redeeming the Eurobond, the government is also making substantial principal repayments to settle the IMF Rapid Financial Instrument financing to the tune of 2.3 billion Namibian dollars in the year 2025-2026, and the final tranche of 1.2 billion Namibian dollars in 2026-2027 financial year. This is added to the periodic redemption of various domestic bonds. We are confident that the envisaged funding approach will stabilize the debt stock over the medium term. Overall, the total public debt is estimated to moderate from 66% of GDP in 2024-2025 financial year to 62% in 2025-2026 financial year. Furthermore, subsequent to settling these two hard currency obligations, over 80% of our debt stock will be denominated in domestic currency and thus insulated from exchange rate risks. We believe domesticating our debt portfolio will strengthen the domestic capital markets while providing an avenue for deploying domestic capital in the domestic economy. As customary, the detailed borrowing plan for the issuance of domestic securities will be disseminated to market participants over the coming weeks. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, now turning to tax policy and administrative reforms. On the tax policy front, the proposed 2025-2026 national budget contains macroeconomic and tax policy proposals aimed at supporting economic growth through boosting domestic demand, broadening the tax base to improve revenue mobilization, and enhance the competitiveness of the tax system to attract investments and foster private sector development. The proposals are as follows. Amending the schedule of zero-rated commercial properties to include state-acquired commercial properties. Increasing the retirement fund single accumulation threshold at retirement from 50,000 Namibian dollars to 375,000 Namibian dollars to provide relief for senior citizens. This intervention will increase the disposable incomes of senior citizens, offering them a significant cushion against the erosion of the purchasing power by the high inflation experienced in recent years. Finalizing the VAT registration on imported digital services to even the playing field with domestic service providers, considering the exponential growth noted in the consumption of digital services. Introducing the annual tax benefit cap of 400,000 Namibian dollars on housing benefits to improve fairness of the housing fringe benefit across income brackets, given the progressivity between employer groups, the private and the public. Introducing an anti-avoidance provision to ensure that substance loans disguised as preference shares are deemed income and non-tax exempt to stem revenue leakage of approximately 41 million Namibian dollars. That's on an annual basis. Due to the constrained revenue outlook, the provisions to adjust all tax brackets for inflation creep will be postponed to the two outer layers of the enter. That is, they will be pushed to 2026, 2027, and 2027, 2028. In this regard, a total of 712.9 million Namibian dollars per annum in direct relief to taxpayers has been provided for over the 2 years. The establishment of a dedicated tax court is at an advanced stage, and we expect to table the requisite legislation during the course of the year 2025-2026. The draft bill in this regard is under review by the legal drafters. As previously communicated, the non-mining company tax rate will be reduced by 3 percentage points during the MTEF. Accordingly, the tax rate has been reduced to 30%, which took effect on 1st January 2025. Furthermore, to improve Namibia's competitiveness, we confirm the reduction in the non-mining tax rate to 28% during the year 2026-2027. This is undertaken concurrently with other measures to broaden the corporate income tax base, including introducing a 30% limit on interest deductions, capping assessed losses carrying forward, and introducing a 10% dividend tax effective January 2026. In conjunction with the Department of Industry, we are finalizing the special economic zones regime, as well as the annual turnover threshold for SMEs, to benefit from the corporate income tax rate of 20% to be proclaimed under the proposed special economic zones regime. To aid with the resource mobilization, NAMRA has completed the research and benchmarking exercise regarding introducing an e-invoicing system for VAT registered persons. Consequently, the project implementation plan as well as the layman's bill have been finalized. The e-invoicing is anticipated to be rolled out in April 2026. This initiative will lower administrative costs, improve information accuracy, and curb VAT fraud. Once again, the tax amnesty program, through which interest and penalties owed to the state will be fully written off if outstanding capital is fully settled. This program will continue until 31st October 2026, so please make use of it. Make use of it. We urge all concerned taxpayers to make the necessary arrangements with NAMRA and participate before the expiry date. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, in line with Article 21 of the SACCO Agreement, a 6.75% increase in excise duties on the consumption of alcohol and tobacco took effect on 12 March 2025 as follows. A liter of sparkling wine will cost $1.20 more. A liter of absolute 750 milliliter bottle of spirit will increase by $5.53. Cigars will cost $369.36 more per kg. Fortified wine will increase by 64 cents. Spirits will cost $18.52 more per liter, and a pack of 20 cigarettes, the duty rise by $1.04. Administrative efficiency priorities over the MTEF. In addition to the tax measures elucidated above, the government will continue to undertake various reforms to promote a conducive operating environment for the private sector, improve administrative inefficiencies, and address bottlenecks in service delivery. In this regard, the following issues will receive attention over the MTEF. The Ministry of Finance will explore an efficient solution or solutions for rolling out the social safety nets. The Ministry of Finance has finalized an assessment of the procurement system using the methodology for assessing procurement systems. Subsequently, the Ministry will prioritize the implementation of their recommendations to address the identified bottlenecks in the procurement system. In addition, efforts to create a dedicated procurement court to address bottlenecks in the procurement system are at an advanced stage. The Ministry will further strengthen oversight measures to improve, and this one please, to improve efficiencies and realize savings on the Public Service Employee Medical Aid Scheme called FEMAS. The Ministry of Finance will conduct regular auditing of government redundant assets. The Office of the Prime Minister has introduced a voucher system redeemed by beneficiaries at local retailers. This initiative digitalizes and automates the distribution of food parcels and provides efficiency gains for the food relief distribution programs while also empowering local retailers. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, on the 2025-2026 appropriation bill, allow me to provide a synopsis of the main budgetary provisions across the different sectors and programs in the financial year 2025-2026 appropriation bill. As I have indicated earlier, the 2025-2026 financial year, that's the budget, prioritized allocations to promote economic development, protect social spending while promoting domestic food production. In this context, the budget allocations are aimed primarily to sustain ongoing operations while addressing pertinent emerging issues as follows. A total of 24.8 billion Namibian dollars has been allocated to education, innovation, arts and culture in the year 2025-2026 financial year, and some 76.1 billion Namibian dollars over the MTEF. The budget of the Ministry of Gender Equality and Child Welfare stands at 473.6 million Namibian dollars in 2025-26 and 1.5 billion Namibian dollars over the MTEF. The vote of sport, youth and national service has been allocated 1.3 billion Namibian dollars in 2025-2026 financial year. This allocation, please listen to this one. This allocation includes 200 million Namibian dollars for the construction of Category 2 stadiums across the country. Another good news, another 200 million Namibian dollars for basic sports infrastructure and 50 million Namibian dollars for sport leagues. The allocation also considers support for various youth programs for skills development and capacity building. The vote of health and social services will receive 12.3 billion Namibian dollars and a sum of 37.5 billion Namibian dollars over the MTEF. With that allocation, we have availed 780 million Namibian dollars in 2025-2026 and 2.7 billion Namibian dollars over the MTEF in the development budget to expand the network of health infrastructure countrywide. The end goal is to reduce congestion at state hospitals and improve the quality of services broadly. Accordingly, consideration has also been made for additional personnel in the health sector as well as pharmaceuticals and clinical supplies. During the financial year 2025-2026, the vote of transport will receive a total of 2.7 billion Namibian dollars. In addition to fast-tracking the upgrading of the railway network, this allocation also caters for the completion of ongoing road construction projects, including rural feeder roads to schools and clinics. Over the MTEF, the vote will receive 6.9 billion Namibian dollars. This vote will also benefit from dedicated external loans for upgrading the Kransberg-Otivarong railway section as well as various roads. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a total of 2.6 billion Namibian dollars for the year 2025-2026 has been availed to the vote of agriculture and land reform. This includes dedicated allocations for improving food systems as well as the Green Scheme program, including phase 2 of the Nekatal Dam irrigation program. The vote of water and marine resources is allocated 956.5 million Namibian dollars in the year 2025-2026 and 3.2 billion over the MTEF. The budget of the Ministry of International Relations and Trade stands at 1.2 billion Namibian dollars in 2025-26 financial year, and a total of 3.8 billion over the MTEP. The budget of the Ministry of Mines and Energy and Industry is set at 939.5 million Namibian dollars in 2025-26 financial year, and some 2.8 billion Namibian dollars over the MTEP. A total of 797.6 million Namibian dollars has been availed to the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism. The Ministry of Information and Communication Technology has been allocated 898.5 million Namibian dollars and a sum of 2.8 billion over the MTEP. The Ministry of Finance has been allocated a budget of 14.6 billion Namibian dollars in the year 2025-2026, including 7.2 billion Namibian dollars for the various social grants. A total of 100 million Namibian dollars has been budgeted for Mitco Corporation Namibia. Meanwhile, 320 million Namibian dollars has been provided for TransNamib in line with the ongoing exercise to improve efficiencies and STEM infrastructure and operating strategies. In addition, a total of 350 million Namibian dollars is provided in the contingency fund to cater for unforeseen emergencies in the financial year 2025-2026. The Anti-Corruption Commission has been allocated 116.5 million Namibian dollars in the year 2025-2026. Over the MTEF period, the vote will utilize a total ceiling of 407.1 million Namibian dollars. The vote of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security receives 7.9 billion Namibian dollars in the next financial year. In this allocation, provision of over 80.3 million Namibian dollars has been made for the ministry to roll out a biometric system. The vote will utilize 23.9 billion Namibian dollars over the MTEF. Spending on the vote of defense is set at 7.5 billion Namibian dollars, adding up to 23.2 billion Namibian dollars over the MTEF. The judiciary has been allocated 601 million Namibian dollars in the next financial year, and some 1.7 billion Namibian dollars over the MTEF period to ensure speedy delivery of services. The vote of justice receives 494.1 million Namibian dollars and a total of 1.3 billion over the MTEF. The budget for the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development is set at 2.7 billion Namibian dollars for the next year, and over the MTEF, the vote receives a total of 8.5 billion. The budget of the Office of the Prime Minister stands at Namibian dollars 636 million for the next financial year and 1.9 billion Namibian dollars over the MTEF. The National Assembly, our beautiful house, has been allocated 398.2 million Namibian dollars and some 1.2 billion Namibian dollars over the MTEF. The Office of the President is allocated 1.5 billion Namibian dollars and a sum of 4.5 billion over the MTEF. The Electoral Commission of Namibia has been allocated a total of 438 million Namibian dollars in the coming financial year to ensure smooth and timely voters registration, as well as to undertake the elections towards the end of the year. The detailed breakdown of the expenditure allocations and revised ceilings for the various votes are available in the appropriation bill before you. Conclusion. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, as I conclude my remarks, and this is very important to all of you, I would like to assure all Namibians of our commitment to the continuous pursuit of fiscal sustainability to ensure that our public finances are sustainable over the long term. I would like to express our sincere appreciation as a country to the international community as well as our development partners for heeding the call of our President last year, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, when an emergency or national emergency was declared due to the drought. The support we received, both monetary and in kind, went a long way in supporting government programs to ensure that we supported the most vulnerable members of our society in the face of elevated food insecurity. Allow me to end by thanking Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah for the trust bestowed upon me to manage the national affairs. I am indebted to the Director General of the National Planning Commission, Honorable Kaire Mwende, for the great collaboration. I'm also grateful to our predecessors, Honorable Ipum Bushimi and the former Director General, Mr. Obed Kanjode, for laying the foundation of this budget. Equally, I express my appreciation to my colleagues in Cabinet, as well as to all of us in this House, for your support, understanding, and forbearance as we attempted to deliver the national budget within a shortest period of time. I am deeply indebted to the Executive Directors, Mr. Titus Ndove and Mr. Michael Humabindu, and their respective technical teams at the Ministry of Finance and the National Planning Commission for the deep sacrifices they made, especially over the past 2 days, as we attempted to finalize the budget and be in conformity with the provisions of the State Finance Act. Lastly, we appreciate the efforts of NAMRA in mobilizing revenues for the budget, as well as the Bank of Namibia for the fiscal advice rendered to us. Together, we achieve. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that budget statement. Any further discussions on the budget? Okay. So now, I recognize Professor Mpanda.
Yeah. Speaker, thank you very much, Speaker. Thank you very much, America. She's being disturbed.
Who is that one disturbing?
Yeah, thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. I have patience for you because I imagine doing such a serious responsibility in a short period of time. There is made mention of the attached documents that are going to come, the accompanying next week. Can that also, Speaker, can also it be, because we are hearing details about 13 billion that we are paying into loans, so that there can also be some sort of attachment. Usually, there's usually never, there's no attachment usually in details. So we would really appreciate how are we performing that 13 billion breakdown, is a euro bond or all those, so that we are able to understand, instead of just being told, no, it's 66% to GDP. So that it can be comprehensive enough, so that it gives us an opportunity to study, to have a thorough understanding, because budget is not just the figures of what everyone, we want to do a proper job. And that proper job requires a departure from the past. Instead of just celebrating this 20 million, no. We want to actually understand where are those figures going, who are we paying, what is basically happening. So those documents that are usually never accompanied, we really appreciate it as we proceed.
Yeah, thank you. Professor, those documents are usually available as part of the budget. I think today we are only challenged because they were not ready. Otherwise, you were going to get your full file. But I'm sure that when you do, all of that information would be available. I recognize Dr. Yes, it's a very detailed submission because I come from that background, very detailed. If you read those documents from cover to cover, you actually get all the information that you need. Yes, Dr. Upindi?
Honorable Speaker, in the absence of any further contribution, may I propose that the debate be postponed to Tuesday, the 1st of April, where I'll make my contribution. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Honorable Minister, there is a proposal to defer the discussions until next week. Is it Tuesday, you say, or Thursday? Tuesday? Is there a hand there? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, Minister, before I come to you, I see there are requests for the floor here. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I'm still hanging on, waiting for the speaker.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to understand what Professor has asked. We want to know how long is this document will take, so that we can go in and analyze and look before the utilization of this budget.
Okay.
Thank you.
But it seems as if your mic is not working, because even I am struggling to hear you. Okay, but I did get what you are saying. I think he asked when the documents would become available, so that they have enough time to study the documents in time for the commencement of the debate. You will have the opportunity to answer, Minister. And now I give the floor to the honourable member.
Thank you very much for the floor. My name is Martin Katon Kato, President of National Democratic Party, NDP. Honourable Speaker, members of Parliament, honourable members, and the leaders of various political parties in the chamber. I want also to humbly request this respected chamber to give us 2 weeks to study this important national because this budget, the budget in question, it comes from previous government regime. So in this moment, we need time to study it so that when it will be endorsed, the masters of this country, they should be appreciated. Yes. So this is my humble request, to give us time. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, thank you. Honorable member behind there.
Speaker, I'm just wondering in terms of procedure and in terms of established parliamentary custom, whether it is not the place of the official opposition to actually postpone this debate, and then the rest of us who want to add to that particular debate then follow. Speaker, if you had induction, you'd understand, because in fact, just the other day we were talking about established procedures and customs of the House. So I think where the rules are quiet, Honorable Speaker, and I think this was your submission during that training, that where the rules are quiet, we will go by established procedure.
Yes, I am concerned that the mics seem not to be working properly, because we are struggling to hear people speak. I don't know whether it's the volume on the gadgets, or it is actually the system that is problematic. But the Secretariat should please take note and deal with that. Yeah, I note your questions. I think that is, I will come to that. I want to respond to, there was another hand. Has anybody now taken everybody taken the floor? To respond to Honorable Hengari, it has been a tradition that the official opposition is, allowed to adjourn the budget debate, but they are not compelled to do that. And I did not observe anyone from the official opposition asking for the floor to adjourn the debate. Yeah, so because the official opposition is the political party that has the largest number of votes on the side of the... No, Toby is not a... Yeah. So I did not observe anyone from the official opposition asking for the floor to adjourn the budget, and therefore I considered the honorable members who asked for the floor. Yeah, because we cannot compel them to attend the debate if they don't wish to do that. Yeah, so now what we need to discuss are the issues that are raised here, the queries, including maybe from the Minister of Finance to assist us there.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you for the opportunity, and also thank you, Honorable Minister of Finance, for the budget that was tabled. We would really like to request that, since the budget has been tabled, that the debate be postponed until at least the 8th of April.
Can you introduce yourself? Which party are you coming from? Yeah, like I said, the system is not yet set to indicate the names of the MPs and the parties they represent. So if you can please just say who you are and what political party.
My name is Rodney Klute from the Independent Patriots of Change. Chief Whip.
Okay, so yes, Chief Whip of IPC, as Honorable Hengari said, it has been tradition that the official opposition would ask to adjourn the debate on the budget, but there was no indication from IPC. So really, that created a problem because I looked around here and there was no one asking for the floor.
Speaker,
if I may interject, your eyes were just staring that side. The fact has been operating. Every time you see a ghost of Swapo, everywhere.
Honorable Speaker.
Hence, Honorable Toby entertained you.
No, Honorable Speaker, it's not about who was first and who was last. It's the issue of procedure. So you could have requested the official opposition to do their job. You cannot, it's not rush game. We are not scoring points, it's procedures.
No. Honorable member, that is not correct. All of us here know what our responsibilities are. Really, somebody cannot say they did not ask to adjourn the debate because they were not asked by the speaker to do that. The speaker cannot probe people to get them to indicate whether they want to speak or not. Yeah, so this is just a tradition that says, since this is a government bill, we would want to hear the views of the opposition, and since there is an opposition party that is bigger than others, we give them that courtesy if they want to adjourn the debate. But if they don't, I cannot try to cajole them to adjourn the budget. So, debate. Honorable DPM.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First of all, let me congratulate the Minister of Finance for a well-informed budget. I want to inform the colleagues, especially from the opposition side, that on Tuesday, the budget is postponed until Tuesday. That does not mean on Tuesday you will not partake in the debate. That only means on Tuesday, the first person to start, it will be Honorable Toby Opindi. But all of you, anyone who wants to take the floor can equally take the floor. That's all what it means. So there's no harm. There's no harm. Don't feel like you are closed outside. You will not take the debate.
Speaker, please. Point of order.
It's all what I wanted to inform the House.
Speaker, is the system showing, Speaker?
Yes, Honorable Ankanda.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Speaker. We must thank the God that created you with at least a calming voice. You have been very considerate, and we have been inducting one another. And in that process of inducting one another, we were giving each other a latitude. And Speaker, you have been leading that process very well. And it's a straightforward matter. We are inducting one another. I don't know why we want to close the door. We have said it that this is a tradition. The matter is on the table. I don't take it that there is consensus that the debate is already postponed, because after it was put to the table, the question was asked. We are dealing with that question of Honorable Hengari, which the Speaker is dealing with. Will it harm, will it do anything to ask the IPC to exercise that tradition? It won't harm anything. Speaker, yeah, I'm talking to the Speaker. So it won't harm anything for us to, Emma, you are young, don't shout.
He picked on someone who is younger than himself.
You are very special. You are very special. So I think, Speaker, let's give them an opportunity. To be able to engage. I don't think I don't take you are asking us to discuss. You indicated clearly that there are issues that have been asked. I didn't take Honorable Toby's intervention as an endorsement. Yeah, so the issue is still alive. I'm proposing, Honorable Speaker, let's give them an opportunity. And once we give them an opportunity, if the opportunity is not taken, then we can proceed. But if the opportunity is taken, then we are good to go.
Yes, thank you very much. I saw a hand there. You have the floor, Honorable Member.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member, thank you very much for the floor. I want to stand on ensuring that, Honorable Speaker, I am Aloysius Kangulu, IPC members of Parliament. I do not find, Honorable Speaker, in conformity with Article 18 of the Namibian Constitution in terms of fairness and act reasonably. Because if we are to be reasonably and the compliance with our rules, that could only be the way moving on, else it could not be correct. Honorable Speaker, I want to call you towards that fairness that is stipulated in Article 18 of the Namibian Constitution. Thank you very much. Yeah, now you are in opposition.
Point of order.
Honorable Speaker.
Members, Honorable Members.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Members, you see.
Honorable Speaker.
No, before I give you the floor, you know, this does not become an issue of somebody's right to do this, that, or the other one. You know, as I have said, when the minister finished presenting the statement, I asked whether there are further contributions, and the official opposition was supposed at that point to say that they want to propose an adjournment to the debate. They didn't do that. You know, I kept looking that side. I couldn't get anyone. Yes, you must. Let's listen. No. I will not give the floor. We are not going to have a debate on that issue. No. I am not giving you the floor, Honorable. Just take your seat. Take your seat. Take your seat. Take your seat. This is not. You must acknowledge where you have fallen short. Maybe you can say, I'm new, I didn't know. But don't try to make it an argument like somebody is trying to rob you of something, a right that you have that is being taken away from you. We have made an attempt to hear you out on your proposals on when we can resume, and you didn't. And we needed somebody to adjourn, and somebody made a proposal. So now the only thing, no, you don't have the floor. You cannot call the speaker to order. No. Honorable, take your seat. No. Honorable, take a seat. Sit down. Honorable, take a seat. Take your seat. Yeah. So you take your seat. You cannot just interrupt the presiding speaker. You ask for a point of order when another member is on the floor. You cannot. No, you don't have the floor.
I'm asking for the floor.
No. I must finish saying what I was saying. You are arguing with the presiding officer now. You are setting a bad example for the new MPs. We are trying to induct. And I can see that they are showing eagerness to learn. And that is why I'm showing flexibility. But if you are now confusing them, when we are trying to guide them, you are trying to lead them to violate the procedure.
Speaker, we are not confused.
No. You are out of order now, Professor. Take your seat. You are out of order. No. I said already, I'm not giving the floor now. Because what I see is what we want to debate this issue. We cannot debate the issue. I'm not giving any floor on that issue. I have said it already. So I'm saying I gave you the opportunity to adjourn. You did not take that opportunity up. Somebody else took up the opportunity. Now we have to consider whether we have to resume on that date for that honorable member to make the contribution, and then we adjourn further as is usual practice. But the challenge that I'm faced with, and this is, yes, it is correct, there is absolutely nothing wrong. You are arguing with presiding officer and you are out of order. You are out of order. You are out of order. Switch off your mic, even. So, no, I'm trying to find a solution. And I'm trying to find a solution to say, because the budget is a different type of a bill, where we agree on a calendar, on a budget calendar, I'm now constrained to agree to an adjournment of the debate on the bill that is similar to other bills, the non-budget bills. Because the non-budget bills, the one who wants to adjourn, you come, you make a contribution, the one who wants to adjourn, adjourns again. But when it comes to the budget, we have to have a calendar and say this week or these 2 weeks, we are going to have the general debate. This party has this much time. You see, that is what is constraining me. And because of that, I am now challenged to agree to an adjournment until Tuesday. Because we need to develop that calendar, you know, that would enable us to allocate times to different political parties. Yeah, so that is really the challenge. That now you can have the floor.
Honorable Speaker, you are bullying the member.
Yes.
But Honorable, we are creating a very wrong precedent here. It is never done. And there is conventions that guides it. That a member of the ruling party of the executive tables the budget. And immediately, the member of the same party adjourns the debate. Listen, we listen to your argument.
Yeah, you are
Due to the fact, I think we must create the conventions, comply conventions correctly. Due to the fact that there was a delay from the official opposition not raising in due time, does not negate them the responsibility that they have in a democracy, that they must have the right of reply to the budget. The speaker must allow the official opposition to have a right of reply. How would Tokyo Opindi now react on their own budget? There's no democracy that
I think the honorable member did not say anything new.
Just a member of
Honorable member, you wanted to be heard, and now the moment you are done, you are now making it difficult for us. Now, what I'm saying is that the opposition was never denied the right to move for the adjournment. The opposition did not move for the adjournment. But I have already indicated in my explanation that because we need to have that schedule that would enable us to have a continuous program of debating the budget, I am now, Comrades, honorable members, we are not helping the situation. I see now that we have 5 or 6 people asking for the floor. And I don't know whether we are asking for the floor to propose alternative adjournment date, because only now that IPC, which is the official opposition, has indicated that it wants to adjourn, it is only IPC that we are going to listen to in terms of the proposal for adjournment. So I think really all other requests are just delaying the process unnecessarily.
I'm not on that.
So I just wanted to explain that part to say what is being portrayed here as a violation of a right or denying them a responsibility is not correct. So hopefully next time around, when there is a call for the adjournment of the budget debate, the official opposition would know. It's not a matter of delay. There was no way of me knowing that the indication was going to come in a delayed way. Yeah? So there was no delay, there was simply no indication. But there is an indication now. And I would like the Minister of Finance to respond. There is that proposal to adjourn the budget debate to the 8th. I believe it is, of April, and there were those other queries that were raised. Can you please assist?
Thank you very much, Honorable. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much to all members for having listened to my statement. I would want to confirm that the request by Honorable Prof. Ampanda for that schedule of debt servicing and so forth, that's going to be provided together with the other documents. And then regarding the proposal for the adjournment to the 8th, Your Honorable Speaker, it was going to be good if we meet each other halfway, say to the 3rd of April. I shall submit.
Okay, let me look at that. Today is the 20th. Yeah, usually, honorable member from IPC, usually we adjourn the debate on the budget for a week, around a week. So I think the 8th really is too far. That's one. Number two, this budget is tabled late because there is a new administration. These funds that we are considering for appropriation under the budget are needed by public institutions to implement programs. So the focus is not only on us in Parliament, it is also on the need to make sure that resources are available. And we are going to have a schedule, as I have indicated, that would allow IPC to speak more than once. So it's not like if you have not said everything when you respond on the 3rd, if we agree on that, then you will no longer have an opportunity to speak. So we have to reach an agreement on the date that is mutually convenient. Yes, you have the floor.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Then we would like to ask for an adjournment in line with one of our opposition members, Mr. Topi Opindu, for the 1st of April. Thank you.
What is your proposal to when?
1st of April.
To the 1st of April. Oh, okay.
No.
Wait.
Tuesday, 1st of April, 14:30.
Tuesday, 1st of April. Minister, is that okay? That's okay. Agreed. Very good. Agreed to. Yes, Honorable?
Yes, thank you very much, Speaker. My name is Ims Nashinge, a representative of the people from the IPC political party. Maybe just in short, with due respect, Speaker, I think we are going too much into circles instead of just going to the point. There is no crisis here. Even now, when you were concluding before you took the floor on the issue of the budget delays and whatnot, the law provides that you can use 40% of the budget without approval. There is no issue here.
No, that's not true.
It is.
That is incorrect.
It's correct.
No.
So can we just, Speaker, I sense an attitude of intimidation here. So let us work as a team. It's too early. It's too early for these infightings and whatnot.
Honorable Nashinge.
Clarity, and then we finish, we go to the next point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Nashinge, IPC has proposed that the debate be adjourned to the 1st of April. So if there is no consensus within IPC, that cannot be brought to the floor of Parliament. So the Minister has agreed to the proposal and the budget is adjourned to the 1st of April. Thank you very much. And Honorable Nashinge, it is true that there is a percentage, there is a limited amount that is allowed under the law to be expended before the budget is passed, but it's not 40%. It's 1/3 of the appropriation of the previous year. And we cannot say because of that we can now do this. So I think it's okay.
Extra 10, it's 30%.
Thank you very much.
There's just one issue. Speaker, there's just one.
Yes, Honorable.
So thank you very much, Speaker, for your indulgence. There's just one issue that we didn't deal with, which is the availability of documents. So these documents cannot be available next week. Because if these documents are available next week, basically it means you might be arriving, they must be available even tomorrow. People must work overnight. These are very important documents, and we appreciate you thanked the ED and you say they worked very hard, and I'm sure they are listening when you are thanking them. We must again ask them and thank them in advance to work and tonight and bring those documents, because we are compromising. Yeah, because it can't be we are sending it to the first, fine, we agreed, you assisted as Speaker, and now we are going to come to Monday without documents. So if we can resolve that, to say documents are going to be available tomorrow, and then people have a weekend to study. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Professor, I would suggest that we agree that the documents would be available as soon as possible. So I will find out from the Minister of Finance, because it doesn't help us to just say tomorrow, because we don't know where they are with the preparation of the documents. And I also know that they appreciate the importance of getting these documents out to enable the members to review them so that they are prepared for the discussions. So it can even be considered that the documents are available as they are ready. So they don't have to all be finished before they are available. But we will find out from the Ministry of Finance how soon these documents can become available, so that we really have informed discussions in the House on the budget.
Okay, fine, you, Speaker, we can, but the
but
problem
you will
is,
be informed also, ne?
Yes, so the problem is just that it's a budget. We need to prepare, we need to make an informed decision. Yes. It's not a by the way issue. We can say maybe it's too, we need to have a date.
No.
Because, Speaker, the problem is that what if they tell you they can only be available on Tuesday? What are you then going to do?
Let me answer. When we are done, I'll answer that.
Yeah, so if the Minister can answer, maybe she will assist us on there, but the idea of just committing to see, we will discuss and see. I'm sure she's capable as an ED, former ED. This document will be available. Maybe let's give her a chance to respond, Speaker.
Yeah, honorable member, let's agree that the Ministry of Finance would have to confirm the soonest that these documents would become available, and I have no doubt that the Minister and her team appreciates the importance of sharing these documents with members of the House. And I know for sure, as somebody who has been at the Ministry of Finance, that those guys don't go into the office at 8 and leave at 5 o'clock. They go into the office sometimes at 7 o'clock and leave at 11 p.m. So they do have an appreciation and they are hearing you. But really for us to just, come up with a day that is based on nothing, that may result in the documents not coming tomorrow and then we are disappointed, I don't think it adds value. So leave it to the presiding office. we will get the confirmation from the Ministry of Finance, and before the end of the day today, that information will be shared with the members of Parliament as to when those documents are coming. Yeah, please. Okay? Yeah, very good. Thank you very much. That was the only item that we had on the agenda. So with that, the House rises until Tuesday. Oh, just a moment. What? Oh, honorable members, let's take our seats. Let's take our seats. Now the House would rise, but not before the Right Honorable Prime Minister has moved that the House is until next week. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Comrade Speaker. The House stands adjourned until Tuesday, next week.
2:30.
2:30.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Our dear Speaker, you miss your previous job.
I can't hear anything. Can you hear any sound from inside there? You can? No, no. Does this one also go in somewhere? Wait. Wait. Okay, yeah, we can hear the sound. Is it fine? Lisa, can you hear sound from inside? Yeah. Yeah. Lisa, I can.
Camera, you are live also. Sheila Pratt runs up through the tops.
Please listen. Am I hearing right? It sounds right. Okay. I'm just making sure.
Preliminary reaction is that we don't have money. The country is in dire straits. Our debt servicing has become a problem to the country. As a new administration, I always want to give the benefit of the doubt. And I have this to say to President Netumbo Ndaitwa.
If you continue to pursue previous SWAPO's policies on handling the budget, you will not succeed in food security, you will not succeed in job creation. Simple facts and arithmetics. This country is spending 4.7% of its GDP on defense and security, less than 2%, 2.2% of its GDP on agriculture. For 250,000 jobs, whatever jobs to be created, we need to create a robust agricultural sector, a sector that is mechanized, a sector that has value chains for job creation, for food security. And if you want to stimulate the economy, you must put money in the agricultural sector to stimulate jobs, to stimulate the economy, and to be able to have food security. If we continue to pursue the policies, spending large amounts of money in the bureaucrats, important as they are, security of the country, territorial integrity, we are not going to have the jobs. So as a leader, you must choose which one do you want to have, jobs or a secure country. And I'm saying the policy, and I thought I'm very surprised, the tone of the president at her inauguration said she wants to spend money in agriculture. She is not spending enough on agriculture, and there we have a problem. So if we really want to stimulate jobs, create the necessary jobs, we must spend money where it is needed most. Go to housing. Housing is also getting very little as compared to other sectors. And if we really want to push back the frontiers of poverty, the shanty towns, we need to do much more better on housing, on agriculture. At this point in time, the debt is very high. On GDP, servicing it is becoming a costly exercise where our revenue collection from SACU is dwindling. So technically, we are running a thin line at this point in time. Preliminary reviews.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Have a nice one.
Lydia, and Mike. I'm saying you can pull it out here so long.
What's the sound?
People are asking, so is this what Parliament look like outside? So huge, so much huge money spent on their construction that they look like.
Someone else. Let me just take a question.
Say, Kaida Tajoko.
Honorable David Agawani.
Wagon.
Hello, guys. This is not me here, yeah? This is torture.
An old man tortured like this. Are you not ashamed? Hi guys. It's not you. It's this one and the other one in what is that color? Maroon. What is it? What is that color?
Yeah.
Mustard.
Yeah, mustard, yeah.
Yes. So are we supposed to?
I know we'll start just now.
We are waiting for her now.
Yeah. I think honorable for having this interview with number two. Sorry.
So you're waiting for the lady, ne?
I don't know. She's busy collecting others. I'm the one.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Honorable, for having this interview with number 2. Can you perhaps give us your take on the budget that has been tabled this afternoon?
Well, first and foremost, you can see it's a cut and paste. The last part was saying that they will be preparing for the presidential and national assembly elections. So you can see that Cabinet gave this team an ultimatum to table this budget at this moment, which is a bit of pressure. But you know, those that vote for the SWAPO ruling party should look at themselves in the mirror and think, have they voted for something significant? There's nothing that changes. I've been here for 5 years, and before that I was here for 2 years. The more these people try to talk about change, the less they change. If you look at the amount for debt servicing, that hovers at about 13.7 billion. That is almost an equivalent amount to that of the development budget. So the amount of money that you use to service debt is exactly more or less the amount of money that you use for development budget. And you could see that they tried to bring in certain capacity for the state, e-invoicing and some sort of court that they want to bring in for tax and other purposes and so on. This state already does not have any state capacity that is worth mentioning, and yet they keep on creating new institutions where individuals will have to be paid from a narrow base of income. So they tried a state capacity enhancement to collect tax. I understand NAMRA has done a bit better to have collected 70 billion, which is better than the previous years, which sort of puts us in a good position in respect of NAMRA doing some good work versus SARS, for instance, that has a shortfall of 800 billion in the tax collection capacity, which was never the case before. So that's a positive for me. I think when you look at the absorption capacity for the development budget, the absorption capacity becomes a problem because the implementation rate for the development budget in the previous financial years was at around 63-64%. So the little money, the 13 billion or so that is used or is meant for the development budget does not get absorbed anyway. It does not get to even an 80 or 90%. So the development of society remains a critical problem. So you look at this and see this budget, and then you see that we are so reliant on SACU
revenues. There's a dip of about 6.9 billion, and we'll feel it all over the budget and all over the economy. We are struggling in the diamond sector. Our diamonds are not as demanded as their synthetic diamonds are taking over. There is no capacity to strongly focus on getting agriculture going. They gave a budget of 2.6 billion. I mean, those of us that know the sector know that, for instance, in the previous parliament, there were proposals by the private sector to invest 5 billion in the Nekerdal Dam. And this government of SWAPO rejected that amount and decided that they're going to fund the Nekerdal Dam development by 50 million every year. So again, in this budget, you see that they are giving agriculture 2.6 billion, which is the sector that probably is going to do two things instantaneously, that is to create jobs and to enhance the capacity for society to feed itself. That capacity clearly is not taken very seriously, despite having received good rains and that you are supposed to therefore get a lot of good yield. And so, whether you ask me whether I'm happy and so on, I'm probably more depressed than impressed by this team. No new thinking, no new initiative. You see that they are not moving in any way forward to empower the local state. That's where people live, that's where they buy their houses, that's where jobs should be created. But they are not empowering the local state to give the local state more money so that local authorities can actually do the things that people need to be done, but they try to keep the money at the center, and the center is ineffective and unable to do things. So those that voted, I didn't hear anything about 250,000 jobs. There was an election promise of 250,000 jobs. Of course, that manifesto of SWAPO was, according to many, generated by artificial intelligence, ChatGPT. So what happened to the 250,000 jobs? I don't hear that. Where is the focus on the 250,000 jobs? They come here and tell us that they're going to spend 200 million on category C stadiums, which is those stadiums that you just put the grass and then you just put a few places for people to sit, and 50 million for sports leagues. I wonder what each sports league is going to get per year. Of course, that is quite a bribe for the elections that are coming, but 50 million for our young people. What are stadiums going to do? Why was there no 200 million for sports leagues, for instance, so that young people can actually get to do sports and get a decent reward and move away from this hunger and these challenges that we are suffering from? So you saw me sitting at the back. I just came to perform a national function because I didn't expect anything good. I didn't see anything good. Same old, same old. In a new year, the document is a cut and paste. They couldn't even remove that there's going to be a presidential election, unless they, of course, may be prophesying that there will be another presidential elections. And that sounds very serious if the Minister of Finance is prophesying that there will be a National Assembly and presidential election. So that's it. I'm not impressed. Nothing to move society forward. No focus on job creation, on youth empowerment. Nothing serious about rescuing the country's economy from the slumber. Revenue does not grow. It grew a little bit by 1.9%. So President Trump says this is a shithole continent. So when you look at the numbers and you look at what they are doing, where is it that Trump is wrong about the shithole that people talk about? There are other people that can do greater things with this country's government, but this one that has been governing for the past 35 years, that will be going to 40 years, is not going to change anything for society. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
start, yeah? Oh, can I start, yeah? Okay.
Just a minute.
Oh.
Thank you, Honorable, for having this interview with Nampa TV. Yeah, can you perhaps just give us your views on today's budget?
Thank you very much. Let me say, greet the Namibian people, Africa, and the world at large. My name is Martin Rukato, President of National Democratic Party, NDP. I'm right up here at the Parliament. After fighting for the better living standard of our people outside the chamber for the past 20 years, now, after the tabling of the national budget today, I look two things or three things. What is the budget? The budget is the resources of Namibian people, where the country Namibia is owned by Namibian people, which means that the importance of the national budget is to make sure that at the end of the day, when we endorse that budget, it should benefit all races, it should benefit all Namibian people. And the budget, when it will be allocated to various ministries and agents of the government, it should benefit the Namibian people. So the budget which was tabled today, I can say that myself, I have to study it to make sure that this budget, it will benefit all Namibian people, it will benefit the country itself, it will develop the country itself, because without resources, Namibia cannot be developed. And without the budget, the government ministries cannot function. And our people, the masses, they are waiting for the budget so that they could benefit from it. So we are waiting to have copies of those for the budget which was tabled today. Then after studying, then the process will go into the standing committees. And then before it will be endorsed by the Parliament, which is we, the lawmakers, we have to make sure that that budget it is in a good standard. And if the budget cannot, let me say, we are not happy about it, then it will go back for the review. The review, it should be coming from our contributions as the lawmakers that, we see that this ministry, this government institution was supposed to be allocated such amount, not this amount. So that is my comment of the budget which was tabled today. So furthermore, Namibian people, they are watching, they are waiting to see that that budget which has been tabled today, it will improve their living standard. Because me, as a servant of people and of the Lord, I want all Namibians, all races, to benefit from this, from the national budget of this country, because Namibians own the Namibia, and the resources are owned by Namibian people. And in this regard, myself, I'm happy that today that budget finally it's been tabled. It's now for us now to contribute our contributions to make sure that No one should be left out. No one should suffer consequences as a result of hunger, starvation, poverty, while the resources of this country is rich. Namibia is rich with a small population of 3 million people, point of correction. So people of Namibia, they are few, but the minerals are so many so that Namibia, it can feed itself through the resources of this country. It can feed all Namibians without any suffering. That's what I understand about, budget. As I have already stated, that myself, I have to study it and make sure that when I endorse that one, Namibian people, they have to be happy about the budget. Finally, let me also appreciate all those masses, those who voted for the NDP and for me. Today I found myself that I am inside the chamber after the political struggle journey for 20 years. So at last the Namibian people have their voices to cast their important votes for the NDP and for me. I'm very much appreciated for those masses of Namibian people. May God bless Namibia, Africa, and the world at large. I say, it is cheers and God bless. Yes, thank you. Okay.